The sun hovered low over the jagged desert horizon, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. A convoy of tan-armored vehicles hummed softly as dust spiraled behind their tires. On the edge of the formation, Lieutenant Sarah Hawkeye Thompson crouched behind a small boulder, adjusting her M24 sniper rifle with meticulous precision. The wind tugged at her dark hair, but her sharp, pale eyes never wavered. To anyone glancing her way, she appeared to be just another soldier doing routine reconnaissance, blending seamlessly with the hardened team around her. Her movements were calm, measured, almost casual, as if she were merely inspecting the rocks rather than preparing for a life-or-death mission. Quick pause. Comment where you're watching from. And if you love these stories, hit subscribe now. The next one will blow your mind, and it's even crazier. Sarah's boots scuffed softly against the gravel as she shifted slightly to get a better angle on the ridge above. For months, she had trained relentlessly, mastering every facet of long-range shooting, but today, it wasn't just practice, it was real. The mission briefing had been straightforward. Infiltrate the area, identify enemy leaders, and neutralize any threats. But as her team moved through the sparse scrub, the ordinary rhythm of the desert patrol was shattered. A sudden plume of smoke erupted near the ridge, followed by the staccato of gunfire. Enemy combatants had sprung an ambush, and the stakes were immediately clear. If Sarah failed to take the first decisive shot, her team would be pinned down, exposed to lethal fire. Vehicles could be destroyed, comrades killed. The desert that had seemed endless and still moments ago had transformed into a battlefield, brimming with imminent danger. Panic spread through the convoy like wildfire. Soldiers shouted orders, their voices cutting through the chaos, but even as they tried to regroup, doubt crept into their eyes. "She's just a young SEAL," one veteran muttered under his breath. "No way she can handle this alone." The air was thick with tension, and even Sarah felt the weight of hesitation, pressing against her chest. Memories of her first failed sniper exercise flashed in her mind, missed targets, hours wasted, the sting of disappointment. For a moment, fear gnawed at her confidence. Yet, Sarah drew a deep breath and steadied herself. She remembered the countless hours she had spent studying the techniques of legendary snipers, Chris Kyle, Rob O'Neill, and the moments when her instructors had doubted her potential. Her voice, calm yet firm, cut through the clamor as she spoke to her team. "I've trained for this. I've done it before. Trust me." It wasn't bravado, just a quiet, unshakable determination that emanated from every fiber of her being. She could see the flicker of uncertainty in the eyes of others, but it didn't shake her. She moved into position with deliberate care, sliding along the rocks to avoid detection. Every step, every breath was calculated. Her hands adjusted the scope, calibrating for distance and wind speed. The scope's lens reflected the barren ridge, where enemy figures moved like shadows across the landscape. Each fraction of a second stretched, each sound amplified. The soft hiss of the wind, the crunch of sand under her boots, the distant echo of gunfire. Her heart beat steadily, matching the rhythm she had drilled into herself over months of sleepless nights and endless training. Time seemed to slow. Sarah checked her watch, counted the seconds, and recalculated her trajectory. The rifle was an extension of her body, every adjustment precise, every movement deliberate. She inhaled slowly, letting the desert air fill her lungs, and exhaled, with measured control. Her finger hovered above the trigger, waiting for the impossible moment when all variables aligned. Around her, the battlefield seemed frozen, as if holding its breath for what was to come. Then, with the certainty of preparation and unshakable focus, she pulled the trigger. The rifle's sharp report cracked across the canyon. Silence followed, pregnant pause in which nothing moved. Then came the unmistakable thud of impact. The enemy combatant, the one responsible for directing the ambush, fell, neutralized before he could cause further harm. Sarah's shot had been perfect, a demonstration of skill and nerves honed to perfection. Against impossible odds, she had succeeded. The reaction from her team was instantaneous and visceral. Mouths fell open in disbelief. Soldiers froze in awe, some whispering prayers of thanks. Even the general overseeing the mission, General James Mattis, remained still, his usual stern composure broken by a rare display of astonishment. The desert, once full of chaos, was now punctuated by stunned admiration. Yet amidst the shock and relief, Sarah remained composed, lowering her rifle gently. "Someone had to," she murmured, almost to herself, her voice steady and grounded. The remainder of the mission unfolded with a newfound confidence radiating from Sarah. Her team rallied behind her example, inspired by the quiet courage she had displayed. They moved with renewed purpose, navigating the desert's treacherous terrain with coordination and skill, their morale lifted by witnessing what seemed impossible just moments ago. Sarah's triumph was not just about hitting a target. It was about responsibility, belief in oneself, and the courage to act decisively when hesitation could mean disaster. The mission became a lesson in breaking limits and trusting in one's abilities. Every soldier who witnessed her action carried away the reminder that preparation and bravery, when paired with calm determination, could achieve the extraordinary. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the desert in streaks of gold and crimson, the area had been secured. Sarah sat briefly on the ridge, surveying the land she had defended, the weight of adrenaline slowly ebbing. She allowed herself a small, reflective smile, not of triumph over others, but of personal conviction, proof that courage was not the absence of fear, but the choice to act in spite of it. Her story, though grounded in a specific battle, echoed larger truths. Every person has moments in life where stakes are high, when doubt creeps in, and when the world seems ready to overwhelm them. Sarah's victory was a testament to the power of preparation, courage, and unwavering self-belief. It reminded everyone watching, from the soldiers in the convoy to those following her mission report, that even in the face of chaos, calm, determination, and skill could turn the tide. As the night settled and the stars began to pierce the sky, Lieutenant Sarah Thompson packed her rifle and signaled her team to move. There were no accolades shouted, no fanfare, just quiet respect, the kind that comes from witnessing excellence and bravery firsthand. The desert, once a place of danger, had become the stage for a story of heroism that would be remembered not for its spectacle, but for its embodiment of courage, responsibility, and the unyielding belief that one person can indeed make a difference. The dense forest lay quiet under a morning mist that hung like a soft curtain over the treetops. Birds chirped faintly, and the smell of damp earth filled the air, but there was a tension beneath the surface, a sense that something was about to happen. Ensign Emily, Ghost Parker, moved cautiously along a narrow trail, her green camo blending her into the shadows of the trees. To anyone observing, she appeared to be just another young soldier participating in a routine military exercise, a trainee quietly learning the ropes alongside seasoned veterans. Her small frame, careful steps, and watchful eyes made her seem almost invisible, merging perfectly with the world around her. Quick pause. Comment where you're watching from. And if you love these stories, hit subscribe now. The next one will blow your mind, and it's even crazier. Emily carried her M24 sniper rifle slung across her back, adjusting the strap as she scanned the terrain. She had trained for months under the strictest SEAL instructors, studying advanced marksmanship and field tactics, but today felt different. The forest, though familiar from countless exercises, seemed alive with anticipation. Birds quieted, branches creaked unnaturally, and Emily's instincts prickled. She paused, crouching behind a fallen log, and listened. Then suddenly, chaos erupted. Enemy combatants, part of the simulated exercise but moving with unnerving speed, emerged from the trees, firing toward the team. The stakes were clear. If Emily and her fellow soldiers failed to neutralize the threat, the enemy would overrun their position, leaving the team vulnerable to being eliminated in the exercise. In a real-world scenario, such mistakes could cost lives. Panic spread almost immediately. The veteran soldiers hesitated, their confidence shaken by the unexpected ambush. "We can't hold them off," one shouted, fumbling for cover. "She's just a kid. How can she handle this?" murmured another, disbelief evident in his voice. Even Emily felt a surge of doubt rise in her chest. She recalled a previous exercise months ago where she had missed a crucial target and her team had nearly failed. The memory of that failure, the sting of letting others down, pressed on her. But then, she straightened, her voice cutting through, the chaos with a calm authority that belied her youth. "I've trained for this. I've handled worse. Let me take the shot." It wasn't arrogance, only quiet determination, a willingness to step forward when fear threatened to paralyze. Everyone else, she could see the uncertainty in their eyes, but she didn't waver. Emily moved into position with care, sliding along the underbrush to avoid detection. Each step was deliberate, measured, as she found the perfect vantage point on a moss-covered hill. She set her rifle down, checking the scope and adjusting the windage and elevation. The forest around her became a stage of technical suspense. Leaves rustled gently, a distant squirrel froze mid-leap, and the faint murmur of her teammates. Voices filled the air. She adjusted her breathing, slowing it until it matched the rhythm she had drilled into herself countless times in training. Time seemed to stretch, every second magnified, every movement crucial. Her hands worked with mechanical precision. The scope was clean, the rifle steady, and her calculations exact. Distance, wind, target movement, all factors she had learned to integrate seamlessly in her mind. She felt a strange clarity, a connection to her past experiences, to the lessons taught by legendary snipers like Carlos Hathcock and Rob O'Neill. Every detail heightened the suspense, the forest alive with the tension of imminent action. Then, the decisive moment arrived. Emily took a deep, measured breath and gently squeezed the trigger. The report of the M24 echoed softly through the trees. Silence followed, heavy and electric, as if the forest itself held its breath. Then came the unmistakable sound. The enemy combatant at the center of the ambush fell precisely where she had aimed. Against impossible odds, Emily had succeeded in neutralizing the greatest threat, securing her team's safety and turning the tide of the exercise. The reaction from her comrades was immediate. Eyes widened in shock, jaws dropped, whispers of disbelief and awe spread among them. Even the overseeing general, a fictionalized version of General Stanley McChrystal, froze in astonishment, clearly impressed by the young SEAL's precision and composure. But Emily remained calm, lowering her rifle slowly and deliberately. "I trusted myself," she said quietly, grounding herself amidst the reactions of others. There was no prideful boast, only the humility of someone who knew she had fulfilled her responsibility. The rest of the mission unfolded with newfound confidence. Emily's example had inspired her team, rallying them to act with decisiveness and courage. They moved through the forest with synchronized skill, each soldier relying on her steady guidance and example. The forest that had once seemed threatening and chaotic was now navigated with calm efficiency, a testament to leadership grounded in courage. Emily's triumph was not merely about hitting a target. It reflected the importance of responsibility, self-belief, and the courage to act decisively even when others doubt you. Her story became a living lesson in breaking limits and trusting one's abilities. Every teammate who witnessed her actions carried the reminder that preparation, skill, and courage could overcome fear and impossible odds. By the time the mist lifted and sunlight began to filter through the canopy, the forest had been secured. Emily sat briefly on a fallen tree trunk, her rifle resting across her lap. She allowed herself a moment of reflection, acknowledging the weight of adrenaline and the satisfaction of a mission well executed. This was more than victory. It was proof that courage was not about the absence of fear, but about facing fear with deliberate action and unshakable belief in oneself. Her story, though grounded in a military exercise, resonated with universal truths. Life often presents situations where stakes are high, doubt creeps in, and the world seems overwhelming. Emily's actions were a testament to the power of calm preparation, skill, and courage in the face of adversity. She demonstrated that even a single person, armed with determination and belief, could inspire others and achieve what might initially appear impossible. As the sun climbed higher, Emily packed her rifle and rejoined her team. There were no celebrations, no loud accolades, just quiet respect from those who had witnessed her courage firsthand. The forest, once a place of fear and uncertainty, had become a backdrop for a story of bravery and skill that would be remembered, not for spectacle, but for the profound lesson it carried. Trust in yourself, rise to responsibility, and break through the limits you once thought insurmountable. The exercise concluded, but Emily's impact lingered. Each teammate would carry forward the lesson of courage, precision, and humility. The forest, silent once more, held the echoes of her determination, a quiet testament to the power of belief in oneself and the ability to act decisively in moments of great challenge. Courage, responsibility, and breaking limits had not only defined Emily's actions, they had inspired all who witnessed them to reconsider what they themselves were capable of achieving. The night sky stretched endlessly over the rugged rooftops of Kandahar, dotted with the faint glow of distant city lights. The air was dry and carried the faint scent of dust and gunpowder. Chief Petty Officer Megan Viper Lewis moved quietly across the flat roof of an abandoned building, her dark tactical suit blending into the shadows. To anyone watching from below, she seemed like just another soldier on a routine patrol, moving silently, blending seamlessly into the environment, invisible to the untrained eye. Her calm movements betrayed no hint of the tension in her mind, only the precision of someone used to watching and waiting. Quick pause. Comment where you're watching from. And if you love these stories, hit subscribe now. The next one will blow your mind, and it's even crazier. Megan's M24 sniper rifle rested lightly across her lap as she crouched behind a low wall, surveying the rooftops ahead. For months, she had studied this territory, memorizing vantage points, escape routes, and the subtle shifts of shadows in the moonlight. Today was not training. It was a high-stakes operation. Her team was tasked with eliminating a high-value insurgent leader who had evaded capture for months. But she appeared to anyone else as just another soldier, silently performing her duty while the world around her remained unaware of the danger. Then suddenly, a shadow shifted across the neighboring rooftop, followed by the unmistakable flash of a sniper's scope catching the reflection of moonlight. The enemy had spotted her position. The stakes were immediate and terrifying. If Megan failed, the insurgent leader would escape, her team could be pinned down, and lives would be lost. In the crossfire, a single mistake would cost everything. Panic rippled through the small unit that accompanied her. "She's too exposed!" one teammate shouted, fumbling with his radio. Another muttered under his breath, "No one's going to make it from up there." Even Megan felt a pulse of doubt. Memories of a prior mission where she had misjudged a long-range shot and cost her team precious time flashing through her mind. The weight of responsibility pressed against her, and for a moment, uncertainty flickered across her focused gaze. But then, she drew herself up, her voice calm yet resolute as she communicated over the comms. "I've handled targets like this before. I can get him. It wasn't arrogance. It was quiet determination, the kind earned through countless hours of preparation, training, and experience. She could sense the hesitation in her teammates' voices, but she didn't let it affect her focus. Megan settled into her firing position, laying the rifle across the edge of the wall. Her breathing slowed, matching the rhythm of the night itself. Every detail became heightened. The subtle sway of the barrel with her heartbeat, the way the scope's lens captured the glint of distant metal, the faint rustle of movement from the enemy rooftop. She adjusted her windage and elevation, factoring in the desert wind that whispered through the buildings. Time seemed to stretch as she meticulously calculated each variable, every fraction of a second becoming critical. Her finger hovered over the trigger, steady as the night itself. She recalled the lessons of legendary snipers: Chris Kyle's patience, Rob O'Neill's precision, and Carlos Hathcock's unwavering calm under pressure. Each memory lent her confidence, reinforcing the skills she had honed through rigorous training. The rooftops, once a landscape of danger, had become a grid of calculated possibilities, each movement mapped and understood. Then, the decisive moment arrived. Megan exhaled slowly, letting her focus sharpen until all extraneous thoughts fell away. She gently squeezed the trigger. The rifle's report rang out, crisp and deliberate, cutting through the still night. Silence followed, thick and electric, as if the world itself paused in anticipation. Then the result was undeniable. The insurgent leader collapsed, neutralized before he could react. Against impossible odds, Megan had achieved what seemed unthinkable. The reaction from her team was immediate and visceral. Eyes widened in disbelief, voices stammered in awe, and silent relief washed over the soldiers as they realized the mission had succeeded. Even the overseeing general, a fictionalized version of General Colin Powell, froze momentarily, astonished at the precision and calm displayed by the young SEAL. Yet Megan remained grounded, lowering her rifle with deliberate care. "I trusted myself," she murmured quietly, her voice steady, humble, and free from the need for praise. The remainder of the operation flowed with newfound confidence. Inspired by Megan's bravery and skill, her team moved with precision, securing the area and ensuring that no further threats remained. Every soldier acted with purpose, bolstered by the knowledge that courage and preparation could turn the tide even in the direst circumstances. The rooftops that had seemed perilous and unforgiving moments ago now became the stage for coordinated, disciplined action. Megan's victory was not merely about the shot itself. It was about responsibility, belief in oneself, and the courage to act decisively when hesitation could mean disaster. The mission became a lesson in breaking limits, in trusting preparation and skill to overcome fear. Every team member who witnessed her actions carried away the lesson that focus, bravery, and self-belief could achieve what often appears impossible. By the time the first rays of dawn pierced the horizon, painting the rooftops in gold and amber, Megan sat quietly, surveying the area she had defended. The rush of adrenaline began to ebb, replaced by a calm sense of accomplishment. There was no need for accolades, no celebration, just the quiet satisfaction of knowing she had fulfilled her duty with precision and courage. This moment, though small, reflected a universal truth. True bravery is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Her story, though rooted in a specific operation, resonated far beyond the battlefield. Life presents challenges that demand courage, moments where doubt threatens to overwhelm, and times when the outcome seems impossible. Megan's example demonstrated that preparation, skill, and unwavering belief in oneself could overcome any obstacle. Her actions reminded everyone watching, comrades, civilians, or observers, that even a single individual, acting decisively and responsibly, can make a difference when it matters most. As the team packed up and moved from the rooftops, Megan's impact lingered. Her quiet courage, precise skill, and unwavering determination had inspired those around her to push beyond their perceived limits. The rooftops of Kandahar, once a scene of danger and uncertainty, had become a testament to the power of focus, responsibility, and self-belief. Courage, precision, and breaking limits had defined her actions and left a lasting impression on all who bore witness. In the end, Megan Lewis walked away without fanfare, her rifle secure and her team safe. The night's operation had tested every facet of her training, every ounce of her resolve. And as she disappeared into the early morning shadows, the lesson remained clear. In life, and on the battlefield, courage isn't about the applause, it's about stepping up when it matters, trusting yourself, and making the impossible possible.